So we represent the men of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, and our motto is culture for service, service for humanity. So we are always giving back into the community or wherever needed to help out with any type of service initiatives. And we thought that this would be a perfect time, since George Washington Carver is one of our fraternity brothers, to help restore or preserve the school that he attended.
Wouldn't it be great if I could bring my class down and sit them on the little benches in the room where George Washington Carver went to school and teach a lesson on diversity, on racial harmony, on history. And so that's our goal, is to do right by history. We can tell the story the way it ought to be told.
Across America, there are many remote, historically significant structures that once lay in disrepair, but are now being restored to their original condition. Mining complexes, fire lookout towers, log barns, iconic lodges of the North Woods, and early ranches of the Wild West all tell a vivid story of our past, and when preserved, can teach us how to create our future. This is the mission of HistoriCorps, a small but mighty nonprofit organization dedicated to engaging volunteers in the preservation of threatened buildings on public lands. In its first 7 seasons, nearly 1,400 HistoriCorps volunteers, veterans, students, and youth corps have logged over 100,000 hours to save 240 historic sites in 24 states.
Good job, everybody. Good job.
The work of HistoriCorps can be challenging, often in remote, difficult-to-access locations that require the use of hand tools where power is not available or allowed. Amongst other benefits, every project has the potential to transport one through time, providing intimate contact with fascinating historic backstories, surrounding natural environments, and the social fabric of residents who call or once called an area home, now and far into the past. But mostly it's the camp life, camaraderie, and challenging restoration work on over 36 projects each season that attracts the remarkable volunteers who are the heart and soul of HistoriCorps.
My name is Doug. I'm from a small town, Arcadia, 15 miles east of Los Angeles. I think this is my 6th or 7th HistoriCorps that I've done starting around 2010. I'm 76 years old and feeling great, and anybody my age should not hesitate to come do this. It's a great experience. I really feel like I'm doing something to preserve pieces of American history. If this isn't done, if we don't do these jobs, these buildings are going to collapse and they'll be gone forever, never to come back. And I'm getting wet.
From a crew of disadvantaged inner-city youth attempting to restore a stone ranger's cottage in Angeles National Forest, to a cadre of adult volunteers redoing the adobe on a pioneer ranch in the Comanche National Grasslands.
So you just splat it in, you kind of squish it in with your fingers. They could pay for this whole restoration if they called it like a spa treatment.
To a nearly impossible ATV ascent through deep mud and oppressive insects to the summit of New Hampshire's Sparks Mountain, to re-roof a tiny cab atop a 60-foot fire tower, to a mining camp teetering on collapse in a stunningly beautiful valley in the high Rockies, to rebuilding cabins so deep in a Wyoming wilderness area that everything must be brought in by mule train, to various sites of conscience, including the unwrapping of George Washington Carver's original schoolhouse in southern Missouri and the restoration of a 150-year-old slave cabin in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. HistoriCorps is a genuine and necessary adventure into the past.
It's really difficult in the forest to maintain buildings and structures. In the forest, they deteriorate very rapidly.
It's important for people to see the physical structure and not to see just a mark on the ground where it used to be, where they can come, they can experience it in all the senses. They can see it, they can touch it, they can smell it, they can feel the wind and the whole experience of being out here in the remoteness. And it's that kind of authenticity that helps connect people to the past.
Welcome to the amazing journey of HistoriCorps, a workforce for saving places.